Hi, you guys. Okay, well, happy Saturday evening. Um, I wanted to get on here and talk about some things that I have learned uh, through failing at some of these coaching programs. And the first one, obviously, being um, Sunny Lenarduzzi's Authority Accelerator coaching program. So, the whole reason that I want to discuss this is because what I have learned from the whole process has been so many things. The first thing is that um, I really felt like I needed to have a step by step process so that I could be successful because I think deep down, I believe that if I just used my intuitive ideas myself, that they wouldn't be successful. So let me just start off kind of in the beginning. And the reason that I want to do this is because if anyone else there is having difficulty with this particular program or any program, and you're kind of getting like really down on yourself, feeling like you're not good enough, that you're not going to be successful, I want to encourage you that this may just not be the process for you. And sometimes we don't understand why we need to do things a certain way, a certain process. For me, it's because I needed to grow in this area. So, if that makes sense. Um, okay, so let me just start back a little bit at the beginning and um, talk about some things that I knew for certain that I didn't really care for in the beginning. And one of those things was that I knew that my own creative ideas like needed to live. And every time I would attempt to do any one of these programs, um, you would have to like literally kind of give up that creative process and just do this step by step program. And it just wasn't working for me. Like every time that I tried to do any part of this process, I literally felt like it was like nails down a chalkboard or like death to my own self almost. Um, and I understand, a lot about where she's coming from. And I really enjoy her stuff, and she is very successful. But for me, that process was just not going to um, create that success for me. So, when you, so for instance, one thing I did not like was that to me, the way that she had started in YouTube is that she did just kind of throw things out there that maybe she had ideas about, or maybe she felt like she needed to do. And that's how she found her kind of lane. And it's not the actual process that she does through the coaching program. And so that's what bothered me because to me, that did not make sense. It felt like it was very hypocritical to me. Like, you know, you did it a completely different way. And I know like that she has said that she has streamlined her process and this is what she knows works and all that. But um, I just, for me, that's not how I wanted to create. My whole thing was that I wanted to intuitively feel what I needed to say and just get on YouTube and say it. And the reason I wanted to do it on YouTube is because YouTube to me is that creative creator process, YouTube meaning completely unique to you, right? And so that's why I wanted to do that. Not like this is the step by step process that I have to do that is what someone else is telling me to do, because that's not the creative process, right? So that really bothered me. And the other thing that really kind of threw me off is I felt that doing her program was the only way that I could be successful. So if I wasn't able to do her process, then I wouldn't be successful on YouTube. And that's just not true. Like if you go out there and you see like all of the big creators, they didn't do her program. Like, you know what I mean? So like it just seemed contradictory to me. Plus, believing that there's only one way to do something completely takes out everything creative about you in the whole YouTube, right? So I had really been, I felt very like deceived by the initial getting into the program, because to me, I wanted to learn how to be successful creatively on YouTube. And I, when I got into her program, that's not where we even started our focus. And so that felt very like deceptive to me. And don't get me wrong, I know that she helps lots of people make lots of money on YouTube, but I've also seen where, you know, people completely niche down without really like experimenting or trying things. And then they get into what they think they want to be in. And yes, they test it and they're able to make huge profits in the beginning, but then they get stuck after that. And they really have a hard time understanding why things aren't going the way that they had originally thought. And I think it's because that they are failing to have that you in the YouTube. So, um, my whole thing was that it just, every time I would try to attempt to do that sort of work, it just felt like it was just not going to be for me. So I needed to step back, but I also felt very um, uh, just disappointed in myself that for some reason I was not able to do this type of work. And I also got like to where I felt like I wasn't good enough to be successful. And so um, I just want to reassure or encourage anybody else out there who feels like maybe they're not um, that what they truly want to do on YouTube won't make them successful. That's not true. I think that's not true at all. And some of us who are very intuitive and more spiritually based need to have a process that is more in flow. And like for me, when I get these spiritual downloads, or when I get into where I need, like, sometimes I don't know what it's for. Like, sometimes what I get this idea to do, it doesn't really make much sense. Like, why would I be talking about that? Or why would I be doing that? But yet, when I do it, it's like it unlocks more growth in me, or it unlocks a spiritual gift in me that I'm able to release or something. And I think for this one, it is more that like I don't really care if I'm like successful in the normal ways that you would think of being successful on YouTube, because the success for me is literally just me actually getting on here and saying what I want to say without fear. So it for me, it's like I have to trust myself. Just me even doing this right now is extremely successful for me because of so many different things. Um, so many fears that I have. And so that coaching program was never going to be successful for me because of this limited mindset that I had to know the how. Like I had to know the how of how I was going to create. And for myself, that's just not how I create things. I can't know the how. Um, it's almost like sometimes it's a joke where I will get this like inspiration. And if I just do it, it's like another level of spiritual downloads or enlightenment will come to me. So this may not be for everyone, but that was me. And that's why I failed like miserably because like I was never meant to follow someone else's process, if that makes sense. And so I just want to say if there's anyone else out there who is failing at this program or another program, you know, it could really be for reasons maybe you don't really truly understand in the moment. But if you can use your own like feeling, intuitive gifts to feel what you really feel like you need to do, and then just do that. Because sometimes it's not about money, right? Yes, we all need money to live, and Spirit is well aware of that. But it may not come directly from you speaking what you want to on YouTube, right? It may come from a different place, but now you are free to truly create and say what you want to say without fear. And even though I like my process was to literally write that I failed Sunny Lenarduzzi's Authority Accelerator coaching program because that is extremely fearful to me because I never want to hurt someone, make someone look bad, make someone feel bad. That's not my mission, but like sometimes you just have to say what you need to say about it. And of course, this is my experience. Um, and so mine needs to be more of like, it's strange. Like, I can't really explain it. I just know that, like, I have to get some sort of inspiration and then just speak what I need to say about it. And so it kind of makes a lot of sense to me because I had been so afraid of the unknown, right? And like doing this type of a thing where I don't have a step by step process or I don't know what I'm going to say. It's more like of a literal spiritual channeling where I'm just trusting that I'm going to feel the message, know the message. That's the success for me. And it can't be in any like program that gives me the answers. I have to walk through the unknown. Sorry if you hear thunder. There's a lot of thunderstorms going on where I live right now. So it is truly walking through the unknown, um, letting go of protecting myself from potential harm of what people might say or what people might think. Um, but if you're a creative and you want to try to do something that is not so cut and dry, you have to trust yourself and walk through your own creative process. And so that is why I failed at this program, because I couldn't do it. And everything about it felt wrong to me, but I didn't trust that deep inner knowing that was like, this isn't what I need to be doing. And it may be hard to understand, but I think that's where you become a creative voice, is when you are able to follow that, uh, those ideas that may not make sense. So that's what I'm working through right now. But if you're failing at any of these programs where it gives you the how to do something, and like this is the only way to be successful at something, or if you really want to be big on YouTube, this is how you have to do it. And I just don't believe that. And no one, I may never get any of the numbers or money or anything like that, but what I will get is fulfillment. It's like an emotional fulfillment, a spiritual fulfillment, that is success for me. So you just never know what is going on with yourself. And it's really so important to check in with yourself before you start taking on that really difficult energy that makes you feel bad. I'm also learning that it's okay to be different. I'm telling myself that every day. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be myself, which is different and unique. And, I just, I thought that I had to have the how. And for me, that was not going to work. I couldn't follow someone else's step by step. This is how you do it. So I had to have the adventure of the unknown. So that is a little bit of my story. And that is what I'm learning about myself throughout this whole process, which is really cool. But yeah, I just wanted to put this out there for anyone that may be really down on themselves for not being able to be successful at someone else's program. And that could be exactly why, because you were never meant to follow someone else's program. You were meant to be your own leader. And whatever that looks like uh, may be completely different. So, anyway, I hope you have a good night. Bye.